Ellis County. Kevin Crouch with Ellis County Weather here, and we are live with a severe thunderstorm warning that includes far western portions of Ellis County. What you see on radar right now is the story. This is the line of strong to severe thunderstorms. Right now, pretty much all severe thunderstorms that are moving to the east, and we've been tracking this for quite some time. If you've been watching the last couple of days, we've been going through this whole process of waiting for this all of this to move through. And we've been watching out to the west. We had rain earlier today. Fortunately, it looks like those never really got organized, right? Those storms never really got organized into anything. We didn't really have to deal with any of those preliminary storms becoming severe. But we do finally have this line. And one of the questions that we had, if you were watching the briefings that I did a couple days ago, one of the questions we had was, when it comes through our area, is it going to be a broken line of storms with individual storms, those supercell thunderstorms, or will it be a solid line? Well, it looks like the dry line hung out to our west long enough that we are now dealing with a solid line of storms, and they've congealed together. And with that said, though, and I've said many times before, that we tend to not have to deal with tornadic activity as much with solid lines, right? You've heard me say that many, many times. However, the difference is that we are still in a very volatile atmosphere, a very unstable atmosphere. And what I can tell you right now is if we had a supercell coming through Ellis County, there would be all kinds of ridiculous rotation attached to that thing. But the situation is now that we have this solid line, but there have been plenty of little spin-ups here and there along this line. So, and the trouble with that is that sometimes these spin-ups are very hard to catch. They happen very fast. By the time you know it's there, right? So that's kind of what we're watching right now, this solid line coming through, and it really, on radar, it really doesn't look that terribly intimidating. At least the segment that's moving towards Ellis County. It doesn't look terribly organized. I don't see any major rotation right now. News broke just before we went into this that Jarrell was looking at a tornado right now. That's one of those things that just kind of hits me. It puts a chill in my spine, of course, because they had a major tornado there in Jarrell several years ago, and there was a Wild Weather Wednesday segment on that, it's just frightening, just terrifying stuff. So hopefully the folks in Jarrell are going to be all right. Hopefully they're going to bounce back from this. And it won't be anything like what we saw back in, 92, 93. And so, here's hoping that they don't have to deal with that kind of situation again, and that, it's not near as tragic as it was before. But for our area, we're not looking at any rotation. What you're seeing on radar right now, over on the left side, that is the velocity view. So what you see is wind speed and direction. So that's, where we would see if we have any rotation, we're going to see it there. And, that's pretty much where we're going to catch it. But right now, we're not seeing any signs of rotation at this time, but it can happen, very fast. If we zoom out a little bit, let's get the velocity off of there. If you look at this whole line, several tornado warnings down in the Austin area, which is what we expected. That was kind of where a lot of the storm chasers were pointing, where they were aiming at going with this. That's really where the biggest issue was going to be. Haley, we just started, so just hang tight. But much different situation down in the Austin area. A solid line here, and this goes all the way from west of Waco, all the way up through Cleburne, Fort Worth. New tornado warning was just issued for DFW Airport up into Frisco, Plano, Irving areas up there. That's north of us. That does not include Ellis County. So, quite a bit going on in North Dallas. I'm sure the Dallas media have that covered very, very well. But of course, the reason that Ellis County weather is here is because this area usually doesn't. So, we'll move right along. But this storm is going to move through, moving into far northwestern portions of Hill County right now, moving through Johnson County now. It's going to continue to move to the east. If I put this in motion, you'll see it's moving to the east, starting to bow out a little bit in western Hill County, northwestern Hill County. So sometimes, though, that bow echo will be an indication that you're looking at pretty intense winds. And then the little notch that you see there in the Cleburne area, I haven't seen any rotation associated with this at the moment, but it actually does look like we're looking at possibly some rotation trying to develop there. Let's put that into motion and maybe get a look at that. So I do see some reds developing here, so we will keep an eye on that. Basically, what you expect to see on, and this is kind of indicative, it's on top of that bow echo there. What you see is you'll see these winds that will come up, and then they start to kind of become inflow into the storm, and then the winds, will reciprocate the outflow, the inflow, and the outflow, and that's where you get your rotation. I don't see anything terribly dangerous at the moment, but as quickly as this happens, I think it is worth watching this. So this is within the severe thunderstorm warning. Of course, we're under a tornado watch until 10 p.m. The severe thunderstorm warning goes until 7. What I'll say about the severe thunderstorm warning, though, is that goes to the very edge of Ellis County. So essentially, at 7 p.m. is probably around when that new warning will start. That will include pretty much all of Ellis County. So that's where we will be here in a few moments. But this is the Cleburne storm. This is where we're seeing a little bit of possible rotation. There's a little bit of noise on the radar right around Rio Vista. Rio Vista. I've heard it said both ways. I'm trying to make everybody happy here. Right around, I'm just going to say Rio Vista area, so there could be some circulation there. It's definitely. It's a very fertile atmosphere, and the conditions are perfectly fine for there to be rotation, circulations, tornadic activity. So, that's what we want to be watching for. The Cleburne area right now, I am keeping an eye on that. That's not Ellis County, but as I've mentioned, over the past 24 hours, we have a lot of viewers in different surrounding areas. So and it's moving. The closer it gets to Ellis County, the more viewers there are. Johnson County, you get some free coverage here. But, looks like we could be looking at a little bit of a circulation in Cleburne. You see a disruption in the line here in the rain, which usually is a little bit of an indication that you're getting some inflow here. And then if you look, you see the reds and the greens, the red kind of invading the green there. What I will say, too, is that it's very close to the radar. Sometimes when you're that close to the radar, it can be hard to make sense of what you're seeing. So, we will keep an eye on that, but I don't see anything terribly worrisome at this moment. But if we are going to have a spin up, it's going to happen on this velocity. We're not going to see it. We're not going to see a classic hook echo or anything of that sort, because on those lines, you see a little bit of a notch, but look at the little, we got one here headed towards the Rio Vista area, Rio Vista. We got one right near Blum. You're going to have little notches and things all over the place. But when it comes to the Cleburne area, I would just keep an eye on that. If you're in the Cleburne area, just be in a safe place right now, I would say, because it's so close to radar, it's going to be kind of difficult to see that really in detail. The good news is we'll get out of that radar noise when we get over into Ellis County. So we'll be relieved of a lot of that when it does get here. But what can we expect from this line? Well, we're definitely looking at some stronger winds. Not really expecting much in terms of flooding. Okay, this is the line's moving east west to east pretty efficiently. So I don't think that we're going to see a lot of flooding unless there's parts of possibly eastern Ellis County around possibly Ennis and Palmer that may have gotten a lot of heavy rain earlier today. If you're very well saturated there, these brief but heavy downpours could make a difference. It could make something happen there. But overall, I don't think that we're going to be looking at anything too terribly worrisome. We get over into Mansfield, you might be looking at this little notch here if you're radar trained and that kind of thing, but I don't think that's going to be anything of concern, at least not that I'm seeing on radar right now. But it's definitely not it's something that the National Weather Service is discussing right now. So I think we're going to be okay on that. Again, if we take a broader view, we have this tornado warning up in North Dallas, but further down in our area, no tornado warnings right now. Definitely some heavy rain going on. And again, the radar's kind of disrupted here right in the Burleson area. So it's a little hard to see exactly what's going into the Mansfield area because it is so close to radar. So that's just what we're looking at. And Ashley Lavender asking about Italy, probably around, if I had to guess, in the Italy area. You're a little further south, and the way that's kind of slanted here, I would say we're looking at impact in the Italy area probably around 7:15 or so, maybe. In fact, if we take a look at this line, see if we can get a speed on this. Let's see. So, okay, northeast at 60 miles per hour. So they're booking it pretty well. So if we... Okay, everybody asking, what about what town? Relax, okay? And we will get there. We are early in this event, so everybody calm down, relax. We'll get there. We will get there. Trust me. We will get through this together. But if we take this, I would say this part of the line. That's not what I want. We take this part of the line, move that northeast. And let's put 60 miles per hour on that. And so Maypearl the next 21 minutes, and it may look really close, but remember that it's moving at an angle, right? So so about half an hour away from Waxahachie, and it's 5 points about 26 minutes, Boz about 25 minutes, Mountain Peak, Midlothian area about 22 minutes, Maypearl about 20 minutes. And then Rager Springs 35 minutes. So when it comes to the 35, well, I'll break this into two parts. Well, really three parts. If you're on the Ellis County line, you're pretty much looking at this happening in the next 15 to 20 minutes. That it's going to move through there. Waxahachie, the I-35 corridor, probably in the next half hour or so. It's a little bit hard to really see. It's a little hard to predict sometimes when it's at an angle and then it's moving at an angle. It's not a straight line, right? It's not moving due east. So sometimes it can take longer than you think for these lines to move through. So I would say we're going to be affecting the I-35 corridor, Waxahachie, Italy, Red Oak, those areas in the next half hour or so. I-45 corridor, Ferris, Palmer, Ennis, probably in the next 45 minutes to possibly closer to an hour in that area. So, 7:30, 7:45-ish maybe in Ferris and Ennis, those areas. It'll probably hit Ferris before it hits Ennis just because of, how slanted it is. Now, what I believe I just saw that they are canceling the severe thunderstorm warning for Johnson County. We will have to wait and see. That's probably the one back on the back side of this. The other thing I'll say too is that we'll go back to this warning, get more information on that, and they're calling for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and half dollar sized hail possible from this storm. So that's what That's what we're looking at. And so as this continues to move through, and we'll get a better idea of what's going on in this segment of the line once it gets away from the radar. That's the only thing, is that when you're really, really close to the radar there, you see some distortion. It's hard to kind of see what's going on. If we go back to the velocity, I'm not sure how much of this we're going to be able to see again because of the distortions in the radar. But as it gets out, obviously you can see that there's some stronger winds moving into the Mansfield area. Stronger winds will be moving into the Midlothian area. So that's what we'll be watching for in the next few minutes. Not terribly strong winds moving towards the really the Maypearl area right now. It doesn't look like, but that's just the curse of it being close to that now. Okay, Melissa O'Neill, I don't know where you're getting a tornado warning until 7 p.m. That is not correct. So if the city of Ferris is sending that out somewhere, then the city of Ferris right now is sending out a tornado warning for Denton County until 7 p.m. So this is so the city of Ferris appears to be sending out an alert for a tornado warning in Denton County. So I would advise the city of Ferris to possibly try to remove that, or whatever the case might be. If they're sending that to residents of Ferris, hopefully they are going to deal with that. I don't really know what to tell you in Wiley. I'm not monitoring that area. But there's definitely not a tornado warning. There is a severe thunderstorm warning until 7 p.m. in the area that you're seeing here, far western Ellis County. Irving is outside my jurisdiction. Got to go watch one of the TV stations for that. But we're looking at Ellis County. So I'm not really sure what Ferris was looking at there. That may have been mixed up with the severe thunderstorm warning for Ellis County. Again, this is for far western Ellis County. Ferris, of course, is far away from that. So not sure what's happening there, but there are no tornado warnings right now in Ferris. Let me just make that very, very clear. Matt, if you want to put that in the chat too, just in case anyone sees that there is no tornado warning affecting the city of Ferris right now. That looks to be possibly an error from the city of Ferris that came out. I'm really not sure what motivated that. I mean, it's this is saying it is the Everbridge. Looks like the city of Ferris put that together, and that is a legitimate platform, but not a warning for Ferris. That's Denton County. That's quite a ways farther north. Denton and Collin County. That's north of Dallas, y'all. So just making sure everybody is clear on that. Now, I will say that the line, at least from my perspective, does appear to be weakening quite a bit. Now, I say that the part of the line that's prompted the tornado warning in northern Dallas County doesn't look that great either. But that's not to say that we cannot have some action in this area. So let's take a look at this again on velocity. Again, it's really close to the radar. We're not really sure what it's okay. Here we go. Finally, waiting for it to get further away from the radar there. So what I'm looking at right now is the little notches that I'm going to be looking at is like this one right west of Britain. This kind of has me a little bit concerned here, so we're gonna kind of train on this for a little bit. This is southeastern portions of Mansfield headed towards Britain. This is right on the county line. This is right the Four Corners. Here, this is Johnson County here. Here's Ellis County here. Tarrant County right up here, in Dallas County. So this is right where the four come together. And what I'm looking at is this area of wind, because what you have is you have winds coming in here, and then what you have is these stronger winds, this outflow, and then you have inflow. So that's what we're looking at right now. And if we're going to have tornadoes in this area, it's going to be these little spin-ups. And sometimes these little bulges are the best clue you have. So this is the eastern side of Mansfield, heading towards Mansfield National Golf Club, Britain there, heading towards Tangle Ridge Golf Club here, heading towards 360 right now, right there on 287. So this is probably could be a little bit of a spin up happening here. Okay, this is kind of what we watch for, and here you see this little notch here. So this could be an indication that we could be seeing a little bit of a spin up here. I don't see any tornado warnings for this area right now. All the discussion right now is in North Dallas. But we are seeing this kind of a little bit of an attempt at a circulation here, and Bo, as far as would these spin-ups be intense as the ones seen earlier, that's a loaded question, my friend. We'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow, maybe. But what I will say is that these circulations are not usually extremely powerful. They happen quickly, so they don't have a lot of time to build up very much. They don't usually last very long, so they are usually weaker, but Bo, you and I will talk a little bit more detail on that tomorrow, because I think there's some background information that you may want some more details on. And if you're watching this stream right now, if you'll go ahead and share this stream on your timeline. That way other folks in Ellis County, southern Dallas County, eastern Johnson County, Navarro County, Hill County, all those areas can keep an eye on what's going on. If they are needing a stream, make sure to share this, and let's get those folks on this stream, because there are a lot of people in those areas that are looking for someone to follow, because when there's something going on in North Dallas, sometimes it's hard for those TV stations to cover all the areas, but with a county level stream, you're able to get just constant coverage. So this is what we're looking at right now, and this is the circulation that we're watching right in here, and it's just west of Britain, just east of Mansfield, and headed right towards 360 here. And if we zoom out a little bit, I don't see any other really areas of circulation that are concerning to me. But this is definitely catching my eye, because we definitely have stronger wind speeds here. If you look just north of FM 917 here, south of 287, or along 287 really, we're definitely apparently looking at some kind of a circulation right now. So we're gonna just kind of keep trained on this. This is really the biggest area of concern, and if we take this at about 60 miles per hour, it looks to be moving due east. So let's take a look at kind of where we're expecting this to go. Let me see if I can get. Let's draw this track here. So if we take this due east, and things have been moving right around 60 miles per hour. So if we take that, looks like that's going to be moving into the Cedar Hill area in the next 8 minutes. So, that's going to be the main area that's going to be affected here is Cedar Hill. And I've spoken to people in Cedar Hill that are, looking at watching this stream at times. So we're going to keep an eye on this, moving, again, just north of Britain, moving into far northern Ellis County, far southern. Right now it's in far north western Ellis County, far southwestern Tarrant County right now. So this is where we're looking, and it's just north of where 360 and 287 come together. This is actually where 360 goes above. What street is that there? That's Heritage Parkway. And so going to be crossing 360 just momentarily, and that's going to be heading towards Lake Ridge High School. So, and I don't know for sure if this is, I don't have any kind of confirmation of a tornado on the ground or anything right now. I don't have have any ground truth on this at the moment, but I will say that there are signs of rotation that's going to be heading really right towards Joe Pole Lake, right towards Cedar Hill and Cedar View right now. That's going to be kind of the primary area of concern, and we're still seeing those stronger wind gusts here that do appear to be kind of wrapping around a possible circulation here. And I'm watching the chat with the National Weather Service to see what they are discussing here. This hasn't come up yet, but it is, something to be watching closely for sure. And, this can continue to the east, and where we are right now, this is where we're looking, northeast, of Mansfield, just north of Britain. And moving towards Cedar Hill and eventually DeSoto, probably north of the Red Oak area. If this continues the due east track, it looks like it will be moving north of the Oakleaf Pecan Hill area. And let me just repeat that I don't have confirmation or any kind of ground truth of a tornado on the ground in this area. There's no tornado warning or anything. This is me speaking out. Okay, and Carla, I've spoken about Red Oak. If you could give some patience to the folks that are in the beeline for some circulation, I would really greatly appreciate that. But it looks like this will go north of Red Oak, so that answers that question. But this circulation that we're looking at west of Cedar Hill, east of Mansfield, moving right towards the Joe Pole Lake area. There's no tornado warning no confirmation of a tornado on the ground. This is very much specifically, me pointing out where rotation exists. That's really the main thing I have for you right now. And it looks like maybe on the high res reflectivity that may be losing some of its organization. Okay, just one moment here. I'm just kind of looking over the severe thunderstorm warnings here. And looks like there's some kind of a change going on with the warning here. We'll see that momentarily. But I'm still seeing possible circulation just west of Joe Pole Lake, and you can see right in here. You can very clearly see where we have possible rotation heading right towards Cedar Hill right now. Again, no tornado warning for this right now. No ground truth or indication of a tornado on the ground. But anytime we get rotation on one of these squall lines, it can spin up and happen very quickly. And so for me, I tend to want to bring some attention to that. And really, we're looking right here. So just south of Deer Cove there, just cross 360, heading right towards Joe Pole Lake. So if you are in the Joe Pole Lake area, you need to be taking shelter right now, not only because you've got strong winds headed your way, but there is what appears to be kind of a rotation, circulation that is there, that could very well be trying to produce a tornado. Again, I don't have confirmation of anything on the ground right now, but it does bear watching at least, because when tornadoes happen, like I say, they happen very, very quickly. So we're going to continue to kind of keep our eyes, keep a watch on this. I will zoom out a little bit so that you can kind of see what's going on. Rain moving into the Venus area right now. Looks like a little bit of a cell popped up ahead of the main line, but that's the solid line. So it's moving into the Midlothian area right now. That's kind of our area of concern here, just to the east of Mansfield. And further down, see, it's moving into the Itasca area, into Venus. And it's going to continue to move east from there. So we'll zoom back in here a little bit to kind of this area of concern we were looking at. So again, here is Cedar Hill. Brenda, I really can't say on Irving. I don't cover that area. This is in and around Ellis County. That's a little further north than what I cover. And I'm kind of trying to keep track of some of the discussion here. So again, just north of Britain here, and it is continuing to move to the east. And as you can see, it is north of Midlothian. So north of Midlothian right now, it is headed towards 67 in the Cedar Hill, Cedar View area, just north of Britain there. And this is moving just due east, right? Moving due east towards the Cedar Hill area. Andrew, you're asking what the yellow is on the velocity view. That is the higher wind speeds. Don't really pay attention to that. That looks like mostly noise. But what I'm concerned about is this area right in here. And that's because you see right here where that's moving one direction, and then here you have another direction. Obviously in the center you have the possibility of seeing some rotation. Not anything terribly not anything terribly crazy, and while we do see increasing wind speeds, I'm seeing a reduction in the possible reduction in the inflow right now, so that could be helping that situation. But another thing we watch is again right here in the Venus area. So you see the red kind of starting to bulge out a little bit, because what happens, and let me illustrate this again, is it goes up and then it gets pulled into the low pressure system. This is a little teeny tiny low pressure system. That's essentially what a tornado is. And then you have where it starts to kind of circulate. So these are the kind of things that we watch for. So two things I'm watching right now is we're looking at a possible circulation trying to develop in the Venus area. And, the Cedar Hill area, we have this circulation that we've been watching. I don't see anything too terribly concerning at the moment. But yes, that is moving right over Joe Pool Lake right now, that area, possible area of circulation, that appears to be getting less organized at the moment. So, not really expecting a whole lot in terms of, not really expecting tornado development or anything like that really at this time. But we have to keep an eye on these areas of rotation as they develop. So this one in the Venus area does look to be moving towards the Midlothian area. It is west of Midlothian right now, but it is moving in that direction. And, let's wait until we have an update on the radar here to the left. Usually the velocity takes a little longer to update than the reflectivity that you're used to seeing here on the right. Haven't heard a lot about hail, John. Not a whole lot of reports of hail going on right now. That's not really been too great a concern. We could see some hail. I would say, hail up to I think it was half dollar size is what the severe thunderstorm warning said just a few minutes ago. So that's the concern right now. Okay, so we do still kind of see some possible rotation trying to develop in this segment of the storm. Looks like the rotation around Joe Pool Lake has kind of fallen apart. Didn't really turn into anything. But if we take this circulation in the Venus area and move that kind of north, it looks like more easterly. So we put that around 60 miles per hour. That seems to be kind of what we're expecting here. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like Midlothian in the next 6 minutes, about 5 minutes from now. Obviously, it's moving towards the Ward area as well. I don't know why it's not listing that, but it does have that will move into the Midlothian area here in the next few minutes. About 5 minutes from now. It doesn't look like a terribly organized circulation. Let me clarify that it doesn't look like it's terribly organized right now, but a little bit of a notch that was developing there. Down towards the Grandview area, we see some stronger winds. That may necessitate watching here in the next few minutes. But if we take an overall view, you see the line moving in here, and anytime we see these little notches here, we're going to be getting quite a bit of attention paid to those, because anytime you have these little notches, that could turn into rotation, and rotation could turn into a tornado. That doesn't mean everyone's going to turn into a tornado. By no means. I mean, we get circulations all the time that never turn into a tornado. So just bear in mind that. Now, Brittany, Lancaster is pretty close to the Ellis County area, so I won't be surprised if we do cover that a little bit. So it's all right. We're okay. Man, some of you commenters are rabid. It's crazy. Should you take cover in Midlothian? It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you were, avoid some windows, that kind of thing. I don't think that we really need to, run to the storm shelter or anything in the Midlothian area. I'm not seeing anything that looks too dramatic there. But I will say that it won't be the worst thing in the world if you get in a safer place than perhaps if you're outside or something crazy like that. Let's go a little further out. Let's take a look at a couple of things. Tornado warning now affecting the Waco area, and so sorry, I just got a message there. We have a storm in the Waco area here that is making its way northward. Ironically enough, had a tornado in the Jarrell area like we just talked about. And so that storm is moving to the north and looks like it could, if it continues its trajectory, could move into southern parts of Hill County, western portions of Navarro County, and could move towards parts of Ellis County. So we'll continue to kind of keep an eye on that over the next several minutes down in McLennan County. Another strong storm outside of Gatesville. Look at that thing. Possibly some large hail in that storm. So we'll have to keep an eye on those two cells down there. And like I've talked about, these two cells are, those are those individual storms that you really have to worry about, that you really have to pay attention to. So if we can go down to this radar closer to that area, and you know what? That radar's gone down. Cool. Okay. The KG Arcade radar possibly taken out by a tornado or at least a strong storm down there. So that's fun. All right. First thunder here at the studio now. Sounds like either that or somebody's revving an engine or something. Who knows? My neighborhood, who knows? We are seeing a little bit just east of Grandview. We are seeing a little bit of something trying to happen here. Not seeing anything dramatic there, but definitely worth keeping an eye on. Heavy rain about to move into the Midlothian area. I don't see any concerning rotation there. Maybe a little bit of a notch there still left over from that possible rotation around west of Ward. Not really seeing much, though. My concern right now is on the southern end of this whole line, right in here and right in here. So, there and there. So right around Itasca, the Itasca area, maybe just north of there, and then in the Maypearl area. So heading towards Maypearl right now. So that's kind of what I'm going to be watching here over the next few moments. And let me just say, right now, right off the bat, we're going to see a few of these notches happen. Not all of them are going to be tornadic or rotating violently or anything like that. We're going to see a lot of these little circulations because there's a lot of shear in the atmosphere. There's a lot of spin in the atmosphere. So we're going to see a lot of these. Very few, if any, of them will produce tornadoes. So just understand that. But, if they're rotating, we have to keep an eye on them. So west of Auburn here, west of Maypearl, south of Griffith here, is kind of what I'm watching right now, and not a dramatic rotation by any means. If anything, it looks like it may be less dramatic at the moment. But between Grandview and Maypearl here, that's definitely one that I'm going to be keeping an eye on in the next few minutes, just in case for whatever reason, that one decides to be the one that overachieves. But overall, we're looking at this straight line moving through. Let me put this into motion again. So you see this straight line moving in. And if anything, I'm starting to get concerned about these storms to the south, which I'm actually going to move some things around here and get another screen open so I can just keep an eye on that storm specifically in my peripheral vision. I've got dinner sitting here too, and it looks really good, but I don't want you guys to have to listen to me chew. So I'll just admire it lovingly from a distance here. Let me get this other radar screen set up. I'm gonna train this on those storms further to the south, so that I can kind of keep an eye on those as they move northward. Okay. So yeah, there's a storm moving towards the Waco area right now from the Temple area, and then one just west of Cameron. And I'm going to keep an eye on those kind of in the corner of my eye here. And we've got right around 1,800 people. Thank you so much for sharing this stream. That means a lot. We got almost 1,800, almost 2,000 people. Wow, just incredible. I'm not eating on the stream. This is not the time for me to be eating my dinner. This is much too important for that. It'll be just as good when I eat it in an hour or two. So it'll be fine. So let's just keep an eye on. Let's go back to this area of kind of this little thing that's jutting out here. Definitely want to keep an eye on this, and I know I need a new chair. It's in the budget. It's on the list. it's on the list of things to do. Right? If you run a small business, it's on the list, right? It's one of those things that you're going to get done. But I'm watching this area just west of Auburn, west of Maypearl here. That could turn into a bit of a now it looks like Ellis County's been trimmed out of this warning, and I haven't seen that, but I'll go ahead and we'll remove. Let's see, let me go ahead and just remove that here. Okay. And I know some of y'all are eating. You're not on camera. So let's go ahead and I'm trying to pull something up here. I've got more screens than I know what to do with, but I basically want to be watching 8 things at once. So we're going to keep an eye, and I don't know that the radar has updated in the last few. That looks like this. I've been staring at the same thing for a while now. Let me just take a look here. Okay. All right. So everything looks updated. So yeah, we're still looking at a little bit of a notch west of Maypearl here, right in the Auburn area. And so I'm going to keep an eye on this. So here's what we're looking at right in here. And so that's kind of the circulation that I'm looking at right now. And as I'm drawing this, you can see here's the inflow, right? And the outflow right around the Auburn area, heading right for the Maypearl area. So that's what we're looking at right now. And as far as, let me just respond to the chair really fast. My cats have a tendency to jump on the chair. So I'm stuck between, do I replace it, right, and allow the cats to ruin a new one, or do I just stick with the one that looks bad but still works? Hey, maybe I'll just get a cover for it or something. I usually have a jacket back there to cover it up and nobody notices, but I moved it. So ideas for the future, right? So west of Maypearl is the area that I'm watching right now. And I'm monitoring alerts that are coming up. to our south, again, because these are storms that would be moving north into our area not too far in the distant future. So I'm keeping an eye on those as well. But west of Maypearl is kind of the primary concern as far as rotation is concerned. Possibly something here northeast of Itasca, right around Files Valley here. So, we could possibly be looking at something trying to develop here. We'll keep an eye on those two for the next few minutes. And I'm hearing... okay, so a new severe thunderstorm warning is coming for south of DFW Metroplex, including Hill and Ellis counties. So a new severe thunderstorm warning will be issued for Ellis County here, and I believe that's it. Yep, that is the new severe thunderstorm warning. So let me put this back up here. I should have just left it. Severe thunderstorm warning for Ellis County. Boom, there we go. So we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Ellis County. Once that comes up, we'll pull up the text on that. Thanks to Fort Worth for issuing that. Okay. Yep, so there's the warning there, and once we can kind of get that in on the graphic here, that'll be awesome. And the number of people following this is growing too. That's pretty great. Oh, look, it's Allie. Tiger and Knox are spoiled. Right. Well, just so you guys know, Tiger is back behind me. He's been sleeping all day. He's been showing me what leisure looks like as I've been doing this since 7 o'clock this morning, or earlier, really, probably. So yeah, Tiger is very, very, very comatose right now. Behind me, moral support, right? So we're going to continue to follow this line as it moves through, and I'm watching these storms to the south, moving towards the Waco area right now. It looks like it may be getting a little bit more easterly motion, so that may push it away from our area, more towards Mexia in that area. Could still threaten Navarro County, though, so we'll keep an eye on that. So, and I'm hearing reports of sirens in Venus, and that could very well be related to a hail risk. I don't see any kind of immediate threat of rotation there. Probably a wind and hail threat. So here's the new warning for Ellis County. Expires in 61 minutes, so that's going to expire at 8 o'clock. And if you notice, that is going to go all the way through the county. So we should be done. Theoretically, we may only have to deal with this for about an hour and then be done from there. So let's take a look at this severe thunderstorm warning. This is the one newly issued by the National Weather Service until 8 p.m. Severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Midlothian to 9 miles southeast of Lake Whitney State Park, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So they've slowed down a little bit. 60 mile per hour winds and nickel-sized hail possible there. Expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. That's the text of the warning. That's what, that's kind of what we're watching. Now, we have some pretty persistent rotation trying to hang on just north of Maypearl right now. And you see this little notch here. So let's get, here we go. Okay, let's get zoomed in on that. Again, Nikki Salik, there is if you go to the Facebook page, and maybe we can post it here too, there is a link where you can get Ellis County alerts sent to your phone, texted to your phone. It's through Emergency Management, that office. They do a wonderful job, and it's a great service. So Matt, if we could throw that link up there, I would love that. Matt does the comments and all those kind of things. So don't just show me love, show him love too. Because he definitely deserves it. He does a lot of hard work on this stream. North of Maypearl right now is where we're looking. And again, let me just kind of illustrate the way the winds work. This is what I'm looking at. And I don't like that. Yes, so go to that link And that, if you go to that link and sign up, then that's going to allow you to get alerts for Ellis County. I posted Hill and Navarro counties as well on the page. If you'll go to the page and get that link there, you can sign up there as well. But that in the chat is the link for specifically Ellis County. Okay. There was some mention of the Ellis County warning, so I wanted to read that real fast. Okay, let's see. All right, so yeah, this is the rotation that we're looking at, and this is going to be moving towards Waxahachie. Okay, so they're saying this is moving about 40 miles per hour. So let's take this and move that towards the Waxahachie area at about 40 miles per hour, and going to be hitting Waxahachie, I would say, in about 16 to 17 minutes. So that's going to be really the biggest issue. And between here and there, there's not really much. There's the Super Collider. There's Scarborough Fair out that way. So that's kind of what's in between here and there. But looking at this moving into Waxahachie, probably around the next 15 minutes. So that's what I'm watching right now. It's just this area of possible circulation. I don't have anything beyond, possible circulation right now. But and if anybody is wondering, yes, I am the guy from the taco watch and warning meme that I very vainly reposted because, hey, it helps people and I just think it's fun. So I was actually speaking to a school of students, several classes, and thought that meme would help, and it went everywhere. So but south of Mountain Peak, south of Midlothian, let me kind of zoom out so you kind of see where we're talking about here. This is what I'm looking at north of Maypearl. This is what has me the most concerned at the moment, is that we do have kind of a persistent notch here. And so, again, this is the way the winds are moving. And you don't really see that on the side over here on the right. But this is what we're looking at on the left. Now, other parts of the line, I don't see anything. You may be looking east of Midlothian here. Not really expecting anything out of that. That doesn't look near as organized. This area north of Maypearl, though, that is headed towards Waxahachie right now, does have me a little bit concerned. Not that there's something happening right now, but possibly that we could have something happening in the next few moments. Now, the part of the storm to the north of that in Midlothian that's heading towards the Red Oak area, I see several requests for that. I don't see anything more than possibly some strong winds, heavy rain, possibly some small hail moving into that area. So Red Oak doesn't have me immediately concerned. Down south towards the Italy area, Italy, Milford, 5 points here. I don't see anything rotating. I just see heavy rain, strong winds, possibly some small hail. Really the only concern I have, again, is north of Maypearl here, and that is moving towards Waxahachie. So, we're seeing kind of a persistent circulation there now. The radar I think the radar is having a hard time keeping up here because I'm getting updates all over the place. So again, you can see a persistent notch here developing west of Waxahachie. Looks like this is probably moving right towards 287 and 35, really, if I had to say anything. And then I am now watching, let's move this a little further north. I'm concerned about this circulation west of Waxahachie a little bit because we're seeing this bow here, and that moving in. So sometimes that can exacerbate some of the inflow that you're getting there. Okay, so that's kind of my concern in that area. Now we're seeing a little bit of a bulge here west of Oakleaf. And we're looking at some yellows there. That could be another circulation trying to develop. So, those are going to be the couple of things that we're watching. That does not look near as dramatic as the possible rotation west of Waxahachie. But it's going to be worth watching for the next few minutes. Let me zoom out so you can kind of keep an eye on kind of the overall look here. Rain happening in Pecan Hill right now, not really much happening there. And again, south of this rotation between Waxahachie and Griffith there, between Waxahachie and Maypearl, not much. So this kind of bulging out section west of Ovilla, west of Oakleaf, to me looks like it could be trying to form a circulation. That's kind of what I'm going to be watching there. And then obviously we've been talking about this area that looks like a little bit less organized circulation here. It's not really as organized as it was a moment ago, but it has been persistent enough that I want to make sure that we're keeping an eye on this. And really, again, no discussion from the National Weather Service on this part of the storm. So I would imagine from them that means that it's not terribly significant. I would hope that's what we're looking at. But this is the section of the storm that I'm really looking at. So I would say the northern half, really the north western quadrant of Ellis County right now is the area where I'm concerned. If you're not in that northwestern quadrant, if you're in the southern part of Ellis County, right around the Italy and Forreston, Milford areas, you have some heavy rain moving in, but not really seeing much differently than that. And then if you're looking, if you're along the I-45 corridor, Ferris, Palmer, Ennis, that area, it's not there yet. It's not going to be there for a little while. So sit tight and let's kind of get through this area first. Now, when I say I'm concerned, that doesn't mean you need to take shelter immediately. I will let you know, trust me, in very clear terms, if I think you need to take shelter. Just means that it's something that I'm keeping an eye on. If you... Let me just kind of watch the reports from the National Weather Service coming out here. Okay. So what I'm concerned about now, and if you watch, this is how fast this can update. So look at this in Ovilla. Right in the Ovilla area, south of DeSoto, we have what could be strengthening outflow-inflow situation here. And if you see, now we've got kind of this little notch here, right? That's corresponding over here. So, that's kind of what we're looking at the moment in the Ovilla area, heading towards Oakleaf, heading towards the Red Oak area as well. And so we're keeping a close eye on that. This is really just barely south of the Ellis County, Dallas County line. So that's really the kind of the next area of concern. This area west of Waxahachie, where we're looking at possible rotation, kind of falling apart now. But this is what I'm looking at. Let me kind of move this over this way. Here, of course, is the Red Oak area, Oakleaf, Ovilla, DeSoto, Lancaster here, just up to the north there. So let's put this into motion here so we kind of get an idea of the motion of this. Looks to be moving really east-northeast. So let's get, we're told about 40 miles per hour. So let's put a track on this and get an idea of what we're looking at. So Oakleaf, it's really in that area now. Red Oak in the next, I would say, 5 to 6 minutes. Bear Creek Ranch in around 10 minutes. Ferris, probably 15, 16 minutes. So that's kind of what I'm looking at as far as this area of what could be circulation trying to develop there. And I'm not hearing anything from spotters or from the National Weather Service on this. This is strictly radar indicated that we could be looking at a possible circulation in that Oakleaf, Ovilla area right now. And this is just watching wind speeds, wind directions on radar. And that's really what it takes. This little cell popping up around Lancaster now doesn't look severe at this moment. Just looks like a little pocket of heavy rain. but we are watching this possible circulation. Everything south of that, I don't see any rotation or anything heading towards anywhere from Milford to Italy to Waxahachie. Looks like it's bowing out, so that could mean some stronger winds on the front end of it, but not seeing any kind of tornadic activity or anything of that sort. What I'm concerned about is this area between DeSoto and Oakleaf right now. Because again, let me kind of illustrate. Okay, so I'm hearing that there's low-hanging clouds in Red Oak, west of Red Oak. Scott, would you be able to take a picture of that and send that to me? If you could please send that to me. What I want to know is if we're looking at just a shelf cloud or if we're looking at something that could be rotating. That's what I want to know. So Scott Lindsay, if you can send me a picture of that to the page, I would greatly appreciate that. If you need my phone number, I will give it to you. Just send me a message. So, yeah, if you can get that to me, that would be amazing. Send that in a direct message if you could. Low-hanging clouds off of Villa Road. Yeah, we're looking at that. We're going to be looking at that shortly. And Ryan, you're saying it's a shelf cloud, and I'm glad to hear that. Sometimes that can be the difference, right, between whether we're looking at just simply a shelf cloud or if we're looking at something rotating in that particular area. So let me see if we've got something from. Okay, let's see. Okay, and I've got a couple of messages. If you send a picture of something, send your location and where you are. So, okay, now I'm getting a look from Red Oak looking west right now. And I don't see anything immediately. There's kind of maybe a structure in the way. And if you're not going to get a good look, I mean, if you've got a trees or something where I can't really see, then, okay, so getting a lot of messages. Okay, maybe time to slow those down. Okay, now I'm getting so many I can't look at any of them. So when I ask one person, please don't have the whole neighborhood send me something, because now I can't really get an idea of what we're looking at here. It's too much. So let me get back to radar here, because that kind of backfired on me. We got way overwhelmed, and now I'm really not able to see anything. It's coming in too fast. I can't view any of that. So this is kind of the circulation we're looking at now north of the Red Oak area, really between southern portions of DeSoto, southern portions of Lancaster, going right over 35 right now. So that's really what we're seeing. And getting some more pictures. I'm just trying to kind of keep an eye. Now, one of these pictures does interest me, but not seeing it in motion, I'm kind of limited. And some of this, I almost wish I was there staring at it, because there's a couple of spots where it could just be scud clouds feeding into the shelf cloud, but sometimes that can be an indication of rotation as well. So I'm going to peel myself off of these pictures and everything, and we're just going to look straight at radar. And I guess, we'll see if the storm spotters come up with anything. But what we're looking at is, it looks like the circulation, let me zoom out a little bit. It looks like the circulation in that area is becoming a little less organized. Just looking broadly at the line here. This is what I was looking at, and I'm not seeing the inflow that I saw beforehand. I'm just not seeing it. Now, this area, there's definitely stronger winds just to the north of Red Oak, really on the northern side of Red Oak, just south of Glen Heights there. that would honestly be in Glen Heights. Yeah, this is the Glen Heights area. So this is between Ovilla Road and Bear Creek. This is the strongest winds, and I'm not seeing the kind of inflow, the kind of, I guess, rotation that we would be looking at normally. So let's kind of broaden this out a little bit and take a better look at what's happening right now. As you can see, just west of Waxahachie, this is starting to bow out a little bit. So could be looking at moving through Waxahachie now. Sorry. We could be looking at some stronger winds in that area. So we're definitely going to need to keep an eye on that. And as you see, there's some yellows here west of Waxahachie, east of Midlothian there. Those are stronger winds. Okay, seeing a pea-sized hail in downtown Midlothian from a train spotter, so that makes sense. So downtown Midlothian, looking at some small hail in that area. And temperature drop is not going to be surprising, because as you get into parts of I should say, when you get into the rain-cooled air, temperatures are going to drop pretty quick. And I'm just looking at some more of the pictures that have come through, and some lowerings, but it's hard to honestly tell what is, what could possibly be rotating and what is just motion from the shelf cloud. Hard to tell. I'm not seeing any distinct rotation, so I think we're fine. But the leading edge of this is going to have some strong winds associated with it. And possibly right behind it as well, looks like, again, west of Waxahachie, east of Midlothian, heading towards the Red Oak area, heading into Waxahachie. Strong winds probably prevailing in that area. And more pictures. Yeah, I'm looking at some more pictures of that, and I'm taking a look at something here because there does appear to be a lowering that could be just one moment here. Okay. Still getting a lot of messages. And I'm trying, those that are in the front end of the storm, trying to get what I can of those, because, ground truth is very, very important, and I'm not hearing anything from spotters. So the front end of this storm, I'm not seeing anything, right off the bat that concerns me on radar. We are bowing out on the front end of this, which means that we're probably getting stronger winds. So I would say that we're probably looking at a damaging wind risk primarily at this point. I think that's going to be our main concern at this time, is going to be that concern. So, that's pretty much my concern right now, is that as this marches through Ellis County, and let me put this into motion again, you can see that it's just coming right on through, and just one moment here. Okay. All right, so that's still for the storm south of us. So you see this line, and where you see the red that's hitting the green here, I don't see any rotation, but I do see some possible, strong straight line winds, which can do enough damage as well. Those are the ones that I talked about in the video, not recently. It was recently, where, if you have a trampoline that's out in the open that's not secured, it may not be your trampoline anymore. It may be the neighbor's trash, right? Maybe in their yard. Fortunately, my trampoline that I have in my backyard, it's got plenty of stuff around it. It's not really going anywhere. But, if you have outdoor items, if you're on a little bit late for the 35 corridor, but if you are on, I would say, the I-45 corridor, and you have loose outdoor items, now is the time to bring those in, to get those secured. or inside, or whatever the case might be, to get those out of the way. This is going to be probably the best time for that. So let's kind of take stock of where we are, right? I know there's probably a lot of people that are joining in now that everything's hitting Waxahachie and they're going, what in the world is this? And, they're jumping to the stream. So here's the overall picture. Long line of storms all the way from down in the Whitney area, all the way up into Ellis County, all the way up into Dallas County. We're not paying attention to that. We're looking at Ellis County, the parts of Hill County getting this line right now. A little bit more segmented in the Hill County area, but I don't really think that we have to deal with any supercell activity here, mostly because any kind of inflow there is being blocked by this large storm in the Waco area that does appear to be heading up towards Navarro County. And if we take a look at this, and I don't know if that's honestly going to be extended or not, it's hard to see this on this storm, and this radar to the south is not functioning right now, so it's hard for me to get a good look at that storm in particular and know exactly what's happening with that. I don't really see a whole lot of conversation about it, whether that's going to be continued, so we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on this storm to the south. But the main story right now is just this solid line. And as I talked about, it is kind of bowing out, and that means that we're getting some of those stronger straight line winds moving in from the west into Waxahachie right now, into Red Oak, into Forreston, just north of Italy, just west of north and west of Milford. And this is going to be moving closer to the I-45 corridor pretty soon. If we can see, there you go, moving east. So it's now moved, the leading edge of this is moving into Pecan Hill now, has moved really east of Waxahachie. The leading edge has, and now moving and possibly hailing a little bit in Waxahachie here. Hail is not going to be hard to come by today, but I don't think that everybody's going to see the large hail. Most of this is probably going to be the smaller hail. So we're really looking at kind of an off and on small hail for the most part situation. Matt, have you heard anything from storm spotters? Are they reporting anything out there? Okay, so we're going to put the velocity back on here just so that if something does come up, we can take a look at it. I'm not seeing anything, though. We're just looking at just a line of just a bowing out segment where we do have these strong winds that are pushing in and headed right for moving into Pecan Hill now, Ferris, Palmer area. That's kind of where we are watching the biggest impact at the moment. And so nothing from spotters. They're kind of getting their footing here as this moves through half of Ellis County at this point. This is going to be this is so far a lot less severe than it could have been. I know that some folks get really upset when it's not as severe as it could have been, but I have a feeling that if you've seen the pictures from Jacksboro and Bowie tonight, that you should be thankful, that things have not been as intense as they could have been. There is a elementary school up there that's been torn apart, and I can only imagine what it's like for those parents. I'm told that no students were injured up there, but I have a son, and if his school was torn apart, I'd be a wreck, even if he wasn't there. Just the thought. And Louis Villarreal, I appreciate you promoting your roofing repairs, but I'm proud to partner with Synergy Roofing, and they are the premier roofer for Ellis County and Waxahachie, so they're kind of leading the way there, and the official roofer of Ellis County weather. So definitely give Synergy Roofing a call if you do get hail and you think you've got some roof issues. They're the ones to go to. Speaking of hail, good timing. Right here in the Oak Leaf area, got a little bit of a purple area here. Okay, let's go ahead and get the, let's just look at the precipitation here. Right between Ovilla and Oakleaf, probably right in the Oakleaf area now. A little bit of purple here, so we could see some larger hail in that area. A little bit more organized hail moving into that area. And we're going to go to a tornado warning to our south here momentarily and talk about that a little bit. But right now, looking at a hail threat in the Oakleaf area headed towards Red Oak. Doesn't look like major hail. Okay, Brandy, you're saying that you're experiencing that hail now. So could be looking at a hail threat, mostly a wind threat, especially from Lancaster, Pecan Hill, down east of Waxahachie, on down to 5 Points, moving towards Italy and Milford right now. That's going to be your strongest winds, really from 5 Points to up to the Ferris area. Moving into Ferris shortly. Now, we need to talk about this storm to the south. And I don't really have a good look at this yet because the radar location down to the south is out. But this storm, let me take a look and read this. Okay, so it's moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So let's take a look. And I know we have Alan Bicking. Thank you so much. I hope that the guys are having a good time up there. I can't wait to come back. So see you guys soon. If you'll tell the brothers that I love them very much and I miss them and I can't wait to go back. I am an odd fellow, and we got one of the best lodges in the entire universe right here in Waxahachie. So a little word from them. So just let them know I love them and that I'm happy to be helping them out there. So let's take a look at this tornado warning to the south. Let's get a track on this. 40 miles per hour, moving to the northeast. So if that's moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour, Dawson in about 20 minutes, Navarro Mills in about half an hour, maybe a little less than that, maybe about 25 minutes. Looking at Corsicana in about the next 50 minutes or so. So that's kind of what we're looking at as far as this impacting. This may or may not affect Ellis County necessarily, but I know that we have a lot of Navarro County folks watching. And frankly, this is a much more dangerous situation than anything that's moving through Ellis County right now. If we look back in Hill County, nothing tornadic right now, but we are looking at a pretty decent hail threat in that area. Okay. And I'm just kind of keeping an eye, just kind of checking things right now, looking for some context south of us. So we are, here's the, I'll leave this here. Here's the areas that are going to be most likely affected. Let's see. I'm just looking back through comments right now, looking for a comment that was made. Okay, all right. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. So, yeah, so this, looking at in really north, really west of the Mexia area is where we're looking right now. So moving towards the Dawson area right now. So I don't really know where the rotation, I'm assuming the rotation is in the southwest corridor of this storm. I'm not able to get a good look at it because the rotation or the radar location down there is not functioning at the moment, but we'll get a better idea of that. But the front end of this storm, let's kind of do this one more time. Calculate this at 40 miles per hour. So about 15 minutes away from Dawson. Spring Hill, 19 minutes. Navarro Mills, right around 20 minutes. Purdon, around 24 minutes. Silver City, about 25. Dresden and Corbett, around half an hour. Drain, about half an hour. And if we go a little further down, Corsicana, about 42 minutes. M House, about 44 minutes. Okay. And this warning does, of course, include parts of Hill County, specifically specifically looking at the Hubbard and Mount Calm areas. Okay, so we are looking at this tornado warning for southeastern Hill County. So kind of this little notch here. So Hubbard and Mount Calm is right here. There we go. I was wondering when it would pop up. Okay. So if we take a look at this, if you're in the Mount Calm or Hubbard areas, you should already be taking shelter at this point. It really should. You should be in your safe area right now. It looks like the rotation, if I had to guess, again, I'm not looking at a very good view of this right now, but it looks to me like the rotation must be down near the Elk area. And so this is going to continue to move off to the northeast. If you're in Delia, Kalina, Coolidge, Mountain Calm, Hubbard, you're within this look at the shirt. That shirt says respect the polygon, right? That's an old phrase from one of the greatest meteorologists that's ever lived, James Spann. Respect the polygon. This is the polygon. This is where you are. So you need to be taking shelter right now in that area, because you've got rotation that has a history of at least having a radar indicated tornado. I'm pretty sure there's been confirmation of a tornado on the ground at some point. There is a lot of conversation. I think it's mostly radar indicated right now as far as that rotation in the Waco area. So this storm is affecting parts of Hill County right now. Like I say, mainly Hubbard and Mount Calm, probably more hail in that area right now. And then as this continues to move northeastward, it is going to move into the Navarro County area, into the Dawson area, towards Blooming Grove, towards Corsicana. Not there yet. Looks like it has some time. This goes for the next 42 minutes. So we're looking at what, 8:15. So presumably it will be right around the county line. The rotation will be right around the county line with Navarro County, right around 8:15. So we've got some time there. But if you're in Navarro County, specifically if you're in western Navarro County, I would be getting prepared now to go to a safe place if you are in that area. Moving through Hillsboro right now, heavy rain, possibly some gusty winds, not really looking at anything tornadic at this time, I don't think. Now, we will take a look. That was not what I wanted to do. We'll take a look over here in the Mountain View area, because I am seeing this brighter green. Okay, I'm just reading some reports here. Okay. So looking west of Milford, east of Mountain View here, a little bit of a brighter green, but not really getting a good echo on that. Not looking at getting a good look at it for sure. And there is a little bit of lighter green and could be a little bit of a kind of notch there. So kind of hard to tell if that is something right there. But we could be looking at some rotation trying to develop there west of Milford. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that as well. As you can see, the main line now approaching Ferris, moving towards the Palmer area pretty soon, continuing to move through Waxahachie. And as you can see, everything looks like the strongest winds here are kind of shifting northeast a little bit. So we'll put this in motion. So we're getting a little bit more of a northeasterly flow to everything now. We were moving due. Let's put a few more frames on this. Let's take a look at this just a moment. Because if we scale this back, let's take a broader look. You see that it was moving pretty due east, and then now and ignore all of this. This is just some stuff happening with the radar, but all moving kind of northeast now. That brings into question the storm around Hillsboro and the storm that is now east of Waco. So those are really going to be our primary concern. The storms in Ellis County right now are not terribly intense, and it doesn't look like Ennis or Palmer will get hit with those storms, because now we're looking at more of a northeasterly flow. And hearing that the technician is working on the radar in the Waco area, so hopefully we have that radar back soon so we can get a closer look at that storm. But the primary concerns are going to be this storm in the Hillsboro area, and then in the also towards Milford, and we'll get right to that really closely just in the next few moments, and then this tornadic storm towards Waco. So let's kind of take a tour here. First of all, let's take a look in the Milford area. And I'm not seeing the signs of rotation that I saw before on the velocity view. There's a lot of noise there, but I'm not seeing any definite signs of rotation. West of Mertens here, east of Hillsboro, seeing some brighter green, but not seeing any kind of organized circulation from what I can tell. So I'm not terribly concerned, but we do of course have this tornado warning down in McLennan County here, just from Elk to Malcolm to Hubbard. Very heavy rain falling there, and again, it's hard for me to get a look at where the circulation is on that storm due to the fact that radar in that area is down. So I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing that and knowing what to forecast, really. But I would say that, again, if you're in this polygon, if you're in Mount Calm, Hubbard, Coolidge, Kalina, Dalia, those areas, you want to be taking shelter right now. This is going to cross 84 here. Here's FM 39. Highway 31 here looks like it's going to slide south of, or really southeast of 31. But eventually that's going to move up towards the Navarro County area into Dawson, El Dorado Center, Navarro Mills here, Oak Valley, Corsicana, Blooming Grove area. So if you are in the Corsicana area, be prepared for the arrival of this storm. I don't know that we'll really need to look at anything for the next few moments tornado-wise for Corsicana and for Navarro County, because I do believe the rotation is still southeast of that area. Southwest, excuse me. Let me see if I can get a message out. Let me just see here. Man, I can't type. I'm checking with a source in Navarro County to see what we're looking at in that storm near Waco, because I want to get an idea of what we're seeing there. Back in Ellis County, this area of heavy rain is shifting off to the northeast. And I'm hearing that there's dipping and rotation and those kind of things in Italy. Now, just make sure that you're not getting rotation mixed up with the what can be a shelf cloud on the front end, and sometimes it can look like it's kind of rolling like waves, right? That is not always an indication of rotation. That's more horizontal, right? So that's kind of what you could be seeing there. Now, it's possible we could be looking at, we're looking at a little bit of a notch there. However, I'm just not seeing anything on the velocity here that makes me think, that we're specifically looking at rotation. A lot of talk about Milam County, and that's going to be a little further south, I think, than what we're going to be dealing with. A lot of discussion about Milam County. So it's kind of hard to see any discussion about the McLennan County storm because there's so much talk in Milam County. So, must be a major situation there. But I'm not seeing anything concerning in Italy. Maybe we're looking at a little bit of lighter green here. But I don't really see anything too concerning in the Italy area. And I'll also say, somebody asked how fast everything is moving. We're looking at about 40 miles per hour. Now, I'm looking at a picture. Some of this is hard to tell. I'm looking at some pictures out of Italy, but kind of hard to tell. This looks like a shelf cloud in the Italy area. So I don't think we're looking at, and there's no tornado warning in Milford. Tornado watch maybe, but no tornado warning in Milford. And this in Italy definitely looks like a shelf cloud. So I don't think we're looking at any kind of wall cloud. A wall cloud is going to be by itself, right? When you have a wall cloud, that's going to be by itself. When it's a shelf cloud, it's going to be along the line, and you can see a lowering there. If you're looking, it's really an important deal to make sure you know the difference between a wall cloud and a shelf cloud, because sometimes they can look similar, but they are very, very different. And I'm hearing that there's sirens going off in Milford. If there are, it's very possible that we could be looking at a hail threat there or a wind threat there. Not seeing anything immediately concerning about rotation in those areas right now. So I'm not really concerned about any kind of tornado. Looks like Hillsborough actually is in the clear here. Everything has moved to the east of that area. So I would say there's a bit of a strong wind threat and some heavy rain, possibly some small hail moving towards the Italy and Milford areas right now. Really moving into Milford right now. So we could be seeing some stronger winds in Italy ahead of this storm. That's what that light green indicates, but not really looking at that. Now, Wendy Frank, you're saying that tornado sirens are going off right now in Milford. Let me clarify for you that those sirens are outdoor warning sirens. They're not specifically tornado sirens. There are most, I would say, communities in Ellis County sound those not just for tornadoes, but additionally for, large hail and possibly damaging winds. So that's not those should not be called tornado sirens. They're more outdoor sirens. So those are not specifically and exclusively for tornadoes, at least not anymore. They used to be, I think, but I don't like them because they do present a lot of confusion. But that can happen. So let's take a broader view real quickly. This is the next thing really to affect Ellis County. We've got the southern part of this line that's moving off to the northeast. The next thing moving in here, let's just take this off and give everybody a kind of a good view of what's happening. Okay, one moment here. Let me refresh this. We've got way behind there somehow. All right. So really the next thing to impact Ellis County is going to be this storm moving out of the Hillsborough area right now. Possibly some gusty winds and small hail with that. It's really moving moving through Milford right now into Italy, into Forreston, possibly up towards Waxahachie. And then the other concern, of course, is this storm down to the south, moving into Dawson now. Looks like the top of the storm is moving into Dawson and Hubbard right now, with the area of concern, I think, down really south of Delia. Looks like west of or east of Elk right now. So if I had to say, I think that the concerning part of this storm is going to be moving, if we put a track on this, an estimated 40 miles per hour. Yeah, I'm taking a look at some clouds in Italy right now. I don't see anything that makes me think of rotation. I think it's just some dark kind of low clouds. But if we look at this, and here we go. Here's a little bit of an update. So let's kind of take that. So here's the two things we're watching. Northern Ellis County, that's all moving out. In the Italy area, strong thunderstorm moving that direction. I don't see any kind of rotation in any of that right now. I don't think we have to be concerned about circulation there. And then this storm moving into Navarro County is south of Hubbard there. I think this is the part of the storm we need to be concerned about. Blooming Grove, I think it's going to move south of that area. I really, really do. I think that if you're in Corsicana, I think you're okay right now. The areas I would be most concerned about, obviously, if you're in the tornado warning, area, I would consider yourself under the threat for this tornado. Though if you're in Montcalm, Hubbard, it looks like the area of concern is south of you. So I don't know that we really need to be worried about that. I'm trying my best to get a better view of this. And I'm not really hearing anything else to kind of help me understand what's happening there. And Matt, I don't know if you're hearing anything about this storm, but whatever information we can try to get is going to be great. But it's really hard to see. It's fairly a good distance away from the radar. So if we look at this on velocity view, it's hard to really see anything. What I can see, well, it's getting easier. Okay. So here we go. So let's take a look at this. What I can see is strong winds going this way, and then, probably weaker winds moving this way. Let's do a better job than that. So this is kind of what I'm seeing, and again, this is far away from the radar, so it's hard to really know. So it looks to me like we're probably looking in this area, moving off to the northeast. And so that said, take that off of there. Let me just kind of give you a direction on this. And it was estimating about 40 miles per hour. Okay, just one moment. Okay. So not really many updates on Okay, let me just check something really fast for an update on this storm. Okay. All right, so this line, a couple of things that I'm going to mention. This line looks like this line has pretty much become subsevere, so no longer a severe threat. Really the issue at this point is this storm right here that is moving towards the Navarro County area. So if we take a look at this, let's just kind of zero in on this. Looks like the concern area is going to be right in here. So that's kind of, I think, where the concern is, and that's going to be moving off to the northeast. So, like I say, if you're in Dawson, if you're in Wortham, those are the areas that probably need to be taking shelter right now. If you're in Hubbard, it looks like this is all going to be south of you. And I'm hearing about Mount Calm. Things are calming down there, and this storm is moving kind of away from you now, to where it's, you're not going to have to be quite as concerned. Let me just check something. Okay. No, still no word yet there from Navarro County, but this is definitely the area of concern, and this tornado warning goes for about another 24 minutes, and I don't think... Okay, let me go see, because there's something that is of concern to a lot of people. And I will talk about Ennis shortly. I'll talk about Ennis shortly because I need to warn about this tornadic storm here. This area of this storm that's moving to the northeast, we'll have to wait and see if they issue a downstream warning. Okay, so I'm checking on the situation in Corsicana, so let me see if I can get an update on that. And then we'll take a look at the Ennis area. Now, so what the stuff that's moving towards Ennis, what I'm told is that this is sub-severe right now. So this is going to continue to move off to the northeast towards that area. Looks like I'm losing the radar again. Need to refresh that. So if we look at that, it is moving towards that direction. I don't see anything specifically, converging or anything. I see some new development here, but this line, this little bit of a cell here is below severe limits. In fact, I hear that the warning is going to be allowed to expire. There it goes. So that is gone now. So no warnings currently issued for Ellis County. Okay, so a couple of things that I can say is, one, everything in Ellis County right now is below severe limits. And everything in Navarro County, that this rotation has weakened, so they are not expecting to issue a new warning for Navarro County. So the sun is going down. Looks like that could be helping some of this stuff to weaken. The other thing too is that the atmosphere has been worked over quite a bit. So we could be stabilizing the atmosphere quite a bit from this storm, from all of this. So there does not look to be a downstream warning planned for Navarro County. And everything in Ellis County is sub-severe. So looks like things are now starting to wind down. Things are calming down. Further down to the south, this storm has been making a name for itself. There's still a storm down in the Waco area, but that is not currently warned. It looks like most of the concern now is shifting from Groesbeck down to Bryan, College Station area. So that's probably where most of the issue is. But as far as what's moving into Corsicana and Navarro County area, moving towards Dawson and south of Hubbard right now, there does look to be a decent little bit of hail moving into that area. And then as we get into Ellis County, there could be some small hail from Forreston down to Italy, parts of southern Waxahachie there, moving over towards Avalon as well. We could see some small hail out of this, but it does not look like we're looking at any kind of major situation for sure. So I think we're at the moment. I don't know that we're completely in the clear from severe weather, but at the moment there's not any severe weather to be concerned about. Navarro County, there's definitely some noise there. You see the lightning strikes west of Corsicana in the Blooming Grove area, so it's going to be a little bit noisy there. But and as this part of the storm moves up into Ellis County, it definitely makes me think that we could be looking at some concerns from this storm as far as winds and hail is concerned, but not looking at anything immediately concerning in that area. Now, this storm to the south that just came out of Milam County, this particular storm has been generating a lot of talk, and that's heading up towards Thornton, Groesbeck. It's possible at some point as that continues to move through that it could be a threat to southern Navarro County after a while. A tornado warning for Hill County, that will be allowed to expire. There is a small part of Hill County from Hubbard down to Mount Calm that is included in this tornado warning. That will be allowed to expire because that particular storm, everything has weakened. If you're in the Midlothian area, you're on the back side of this, I would say you're mostly in the clear for the night. Let's just get a broad view of everything. Broad view of this whole area and kind of show this is the line that moved through before, that's kind of moved out to the northeast, and that's going to be moving out. We have a little bit of this moving towards the I-45 corridor, moving towards 287 right now. A little bit of hail possible there, but that's pretty much it. Okay, everyone can send 200 stars for free for a limited time. Oh, that's fun. I didn't even know about that. So if you want to send stars, apparently now is the time to try that. I get questions from time to time what that is, but apparently everybody can send 200 stars. So hey, I guess if 1,500 people want to send 200 stars, that's cool. Let's give that a shot. And I'll try to name names as far as who sends stars after this. I try to thank everybody on air, but it's a little bit busy right now. So, what we'll be watching more closely now, this storm moving into Navarro County, we're told, is not really going to be that big a concern, that the rotation has weakened. This storm in the Waco area doesn't look that intimidating. It looks like it has weakened. This storm moving towards Groesbeck right now is really the closest storm that has any kind of concern. That's going to be moving up towards Groesbeck, towards Mexia and Teague. We may have to watch that as it goes closer to the Richland Chambers Reservoir area, possibly Kearns, if it continues that track. So we'll kind of have to wait and see what that does over the next several minutes. In the next hour or so. This warning goes for the next 47 minutes, so by the time it makes it up to Corsicana, Navarro County area, it's going to be a while before that happens. And so that storm, I don't know that that's really going to do anything very quickly. But what matters right now is that we're not looking at any kind of severe warnings in Ellis County or Navarro County, or there's the little bit of the tornado warning still going on in Hill County. That's going to be allowed to expire here in the next 15 minutes or so. Heather, the loudest horn, I agree that you probably had the loudest horns in Texas. There in Ennis, because I've played those football games. I was in the Waxahachie band, and they definitely get your attention. So, okay, so just an update that this tornado warning for this storm that does include parts of Hill County. So this part of Hill County looks like they're continuing the warning for the part of Hill County that includes Hubbard, probably just for what's left of this storm. But as they mentioned, it does look like the circulation has weakened quite a bit, so they don't plan on issuing what we call a downstream warning into Navarro County. So that's what we're looking at right now for Navarro County. This storm is moving in, but that warning has been shaved down, and they don't expect to issue a new one from there. Let me just okay. Looking over the chat right now to see what the discussion is. And this storm further down to the south around Groesbeck, Thornton, continues to be a concern, but that's not threatening this area. So no warnings for Ellis County, no warnings for Navarro County right now. Really any of the viewing area at this point. No warnings in those areas. So, you know, we'll take it, right? We'll take that for sure when this looked like it could have been a very dangerous situation. And if we go down to Central Texas, you can see tornado warning, tornado warning, tornado warning, tornado warning. College Station got one headed there right now, and definitely a much more dangerous situation there than what we have here. And you know, so we're going to be, I think we're going to be pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that myself. And I'm trying to find, okay, I'm trying to pull up something over here to kind of monitor the stream better. Hillsboro looks like you are in the clear right now. It does look like things in Hillsboro have dramatically calmed down. Everything's kind of moved ahead of it. You're kind of behind that. So, yeah, not concerned about Hillsboro right now. Looks like you're pretty well in the clear. Nothing really to be concerned about. These two cells are not really going to join so much as they're just, let me refresh the radar here. I keep losing it. Eventually I'll get an answer on that. But these two cells are not really going to join or anything. That's not really what they're doing. They're kind of just both moving off to the east-northeast here. And this is not severe. So this cell right here from Waxahachie down to Abilene here, not severe, okay? Not a severe cell. Heavy rain, small hail, gusty winds, but not anything damaging. And then this part down in Corsicana also not looking severe at this time. We look down. Storm in Killeen, that's the storm in Killeen, that's pretty far downstream, so I really couldn't speak to that very much at the moment. Can't really say if the stream down in Killeen, or if the storm down in Killeen is going to hit us, because I would need to see it last a little longer and know what it's going to do. That's a pretty far distance away from here. But as far as Ellis County and Navarro County are concerned, let's just kind of zoom into that area. I'll put this into motion again. None of this activity is severe right now. It may look scary, it may sound scary, all that good stuff. Not a severe setup at the moment, by any means. We're not looking at anything damaging in these areas right now. Those warnings have been allowed to expire. We are still under a tornado watch until 10 p.m., so a couple more hours. But I would say that at least for the moment, the tornado threat is pretty low. We saw a few circulations attempting to kind of wind up west of Waxahachie and in the Waxahachie area, and in the Maypearl area, the Midlothian area. None of those really came in. And as far as the 200 stars, I think what that means is if you've never given the stars before, if you've never given stars to any stream, then you get that first 200. I think that's what that is. So hopefully that kind of answers the questions that are going on there. The 200 is a one-time deal. That kind of gets you sucked in from Facebook's perspective, right? But, if you're brand new to the stream and you've never given 200 stars before, then you have that ability. But so this is just kind of what we're looking at. This is really what we're limited to. This storm down in the Corsicana area, you see that tornado warning, that's going to be allowed to expire. And I don't think that we're not really looking at any sorry, just one moment. Okay. Yeah. So this warning in southwest of Navarro County is going to be allowed to expire. Pretty intense storm still there in the Dawson area. Just south of there, we may be looking at some hail, strong winds. Not looking at anything tornadic. And again, Ellis County, just heavy rain at this point. Nothing really more than that. So we're pretty fortunate in this area at the moment. For one, that we haven't had any, actual tornado activity. Now we will take another look at this storm right around El Dorado Center. And we could have some rotation trying to develop there. Let's take a look at the last few minutes here. Okay. Now we could have... Okay, let me kind of take a look at something here. Okay, that's further down. We could have some rotation trying to develop right around the Coolidge area. That's kind of got my attention at the moment. Okay, so the tornado warning for Hill, Limestone County, these areas allowed to expire. However, I am now seeing what could be an attempt by this storm to kind of wind up some rotation a little bit. I'm not really thinking there's too much happening there at this moment, but that is moving into Navarro County now, so we will keep an eye on that. Anybody joining in from Ellis County, there's nothing severe going on in Ellis County right now. Not anything in Ellis County going on right now that's severe. Everything is kind of, heavy rain, that kind of thing. It may look intimidating, but I don't think that we have anything really to worry about there. Looking in the Corsicana area, I don't see any kind of rotation there too. But yeah, we will keep an eye on this around Salina and Coolidge, because we could be looking at at least an attempt by that storm to ramp up some rotation right around, and you see this just now moving towards El Dorado Center here, possibly up towards Curry. Okay. So, yeah, this is really the most concerning storm we have at the moment. And it looks like we have some winds kind of driving at the back of the storm right around Blooming Grove. Probably some stronger winds here. Okay. And the credit for the text platform, that goes to Ellis County Emergency Management. That's not mine. So, I'll make sure that they are aware that folks are thankful for that. Okay. But yeah, so we might have to keep an eye on this. East of Dawson there. Could be seeing kind of a rotation trying to develop there. Not entirely sure what that's going to look like. Okay. All right. So I'm going to keep the radar trained on this storm, just in case because these storms, as I've talked about before, when we see these tornadic storms, sometimes they can flex up, flex down, flex up, flex down. They kind of go up and down, and that's just the reality sometimes of these types of storms. But we could be looking at it trying to flex up a little bit. I will also say that we could be looking at possibly some broad rotation right around west of Corsicana, really in the Corsicana area right now. Now when I say broad, I mean very broad. I mean, not really, but I'm watching this and what I just indicated, just because, that could be something, the kind of a structure that could cause some issues or kind of a trend. But we'll keep an eye on that. The other thing too is that, like I said, this storm down between Dawson and Wortham, we're going to keep an eye on that because that could be rotation trying to cycle up a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, so those are kind of the areas that I'm looking at right now. Come here. And this is my son just brought me some water, so I'm going to give him some screen time here. Maybe you can see. There he is. So, all right. Go ahead in the living room. I should be done eventually. Thank you, bud. Okay, because I am dying here. All right. So, okay. So yeah, this is kind of the things that I'm keeping an eye on. And if you guys want to share this stream over in Navarro County, we can keep an eye on this together. The last couple of days has really been emphasized to me that there are people watching this stuff in Navarro County, so I want to make sure you guys are making it free. Yeah, eventually, right? See, this is the thing. Nights like this, you think you're done, and then, you're definitely not. Okay, so yeah, National Weather Service just talked about no warnings immediately planned right now for Navarro County, but it says, but there is broad rotation trying to develop. So that's what we're looking at right here. So right around between Corsicana and Blooming Grove there. So you see the red and green. That's very broad rotation. Nothing too remarkable there for sure. And so that's kind of what we're going to be observing for the next few minutes, is keeping an eye on this broad rotation, and then this storm to the south that looks like it could be trying to cycle up or down a little bit maybe. But if you folks in Navarro County want to go ahead and give this a share, let's get some Navarro County folks on here. I don't know what kind of coverage you guys might have that's interactive like this, but might be worth getting some folks plugged in in that area. So, and Scott, yeah, what I'll say is that we have a lot of folks in Navarro County that have tuned in. Let me broaden this a little bit too, so that the Ellis County folks can see. The good news is in Ellis County we have we're not seeing anything severe. Now I will say it looks like some winds may be ramping up, so maybe some straight line winds. I'm just going to keep this whole kind of picture up right now for the moment. So Ellis County, fortunately, is out of the woods when it comes to severe weather. That's the good news. Thing is, as far as Navarro County, where there has been a growing following of this page in Navarro County, I've had people tell me that they've needed something like this in Navarro County. So, I'm happy to oblige and kind of extend it there. Plus, a lot of the storms that move through Ellis County also impact that area. So, kind of able to do two birds with one stone. But let's go ahead and put this into motion again. So as you can see, all of this activity affecting the I-45 corridor. We're looking at that right now, and nothing severe going on from Ferris down to Palmer down to Ennis. Nothing severe there. Heavy rain and strong winds there, but not definitely not anything overwhelming. And this is already clearing out the I-35 corridor. 45 will be cleared out pretty soon as well. And so this is the whole area that's moving off to the east, northeast right now. So Ellis County is about to be in the clear as far as the severe weather concern. We are looking at a bit of a concern down in the Corsicana area. So this is kind of what we're looking at. These winds and then these winds. Now, this is very broad. Very broad, and if we're going to have any kind of tornadic activity or anything, it's going to have to really tighten up a lot. So there's a lot of space between where we are right now and a tornado warning possibly. But that's we're not really looking at anything that concerning at the moment. But broad rotation does appear to be trying to spin up a little bit in the Corsicana Rice area. But, again, I'm not looking at anything terribly concerning. It's also moving off to the east fairly quickly, so it looks like it's not going to be in Navarro County very long. So broad generally is good. What you don't want is tight rotation, okay? When you have broad rotation, there's not a whole lot that can really come out of that. It's when the rotation tightens. When that tightens up and you have that smaller area of rotation, that's when the wind speeds pick up. That's when you start getting your tornadoes. So yeah, you want broad rotation as opposed to tighter rotation for sure. If you're going to have rotation at all, you want it to be more broad. You want it to be more limited. So that being said, we are going to keep an eye on it, and parts of far eastern Ellis County are definitely not threatened by severe weather at the moment. We're not looking at any kind of major concerns there. There is some heavier rain, I would say, from about, Bristol out there? Yeah, from Creechville, from Highway 34 here, south of Alsdorf, on down 45 into Corsicana. That's going to be the heaviest precipitation. And then, of course, I've talked about that broad rotation trying to form up in Corsicana, not really doing anything right now. And then further down is this storm that had a history of being tornado warned that really doesn't look to be doing anything. It's really not very organized right now. So that's kind of what we're looking at the moment. As this storm moves through, it seems to me, and I've had a couple of messages to this effect too, that the atmosphere has largely been stabilized, that it's not near as volatile as it was before by any means. Now, there's a pretty impressive storm down in the Groesbeck area moving into Teague. I don't think that's really going to do much for the Corsicana area. If it does, it's going to be later tonight. But I think that our particular area from Navarro County, Hill County, Ellis County, kind of this area that we've been covering tonight, I think most of this area has been stabilized for the most part. That's the good thing about these storms moving through. You get that rain-cooled air, kind of settles everything down, right? We're down to 60 degrees right now. So, evening cooling plus the stabilization of those storms plus the rain-cooled air generally going to keep things pretty calm, especially in Ellis County. And Navarro County getting its fair share right now. A very heavy rain, but does not look like we're going to be looking at anything terribly concerning for the I-45 corridor from Rice down to Corsicana. Heavier rain is moving towards the Kearns area right now, but I don't think that there's anything tornadic or anything of that sort moving that direction. I'm not really concerned about that right now. So overall, we have pretty well lucked out. Let me just kind of get rid of the velocity here, and we'll just take a broad look again. And as you can see, there's a long line of activity all the way from the border with Oklahoma all the way down. And then here you see this is kind of becoming a solid line. This is another reason that we're kind of getting rid of the severe weather risk. Now, there could be a bigger wind risk with this, but kind of getting rid of the supercell type of concerns that we would have there. We zoom in, obviously pretty big storm down in Groesbeck, seems to be cycling up and getting much more intense. That's going to slide south of Mexia there over towards Teague. And I don't foresee that really having much effect on Navarro County. I don't really think we're going to be looking at that as a concern. Possibly some hail down in western Navarro County right now. Again, that could move over and cross I-45, could be in the Kearns area. So overall, generally, Ellis County, you're pretty well in the clear as far as severe weather is concerned. Navarro County, I think that your severe weather risk generally is winding down at this moment. And I do want to thank people that send in stars. Maybe this is a good chance to kind of start doing that. They're happening too fast. He can't write them all down. Okay, thanks everybody. I guess that's the way to keep Matt from losing his mind. So we'll save Matt the. Let me just say this. I do deeply appreciate the support that everybody's given on this stream. We had over 2,000 people at one point. That's wild. But this is early and we've got plenty of time to go. And plenty of time to go, and I've got a baby due in May, so this spring is about to get interesting. This is a March system, and for the most part, March systems are not as intense as April and May systems, right? So let's see, what all do we have going on? We got tonight. I got lots of work to do next week. My birthday's in there somewhere. My son's birthday is in 2 days. Baby due in May. All the things. So busy spring coming up, and I'll be here covering severe weather all the way through. I might have a baby on me, a few of those, but hey, we'll make it work, right? Thank you so much for everybody that has supported this stream, and I'm not quite turning off yet. I do want to point out for the folks in western portions of Navarro County that we are getting a more linear system. You see, this thing is kind of getting stretched out, right? Could be some hail falling right now just south of Chatfield and Tupelo, and that's going to cross right over this FM road here. What is that? It's not 85 and it's not 636. I can't identify that. It's not identifying it for me. It's kind of in between the two roads. Nothing? I can't. Okay. Whatever that is. But right in the chat, just south of Chatfield, possible hail core developing there. If we zoom that back out again, we could be looking at, some strong winds, and I would almost be looking at a little bit of a hail, or not hail, but rather flood issue here in Navarro County, because there's been plenty of heavy rain falling for kind of a little while here. Corsicana, you're going to be getting a fair amount of heavy rain. And down in the El Dorado Center area, right here along 642, 638, 709 here, down to Oak Valley and all the way down to El Dorado Center. I mean, you guys are, okay, 1120, okay, well, I'm getting a couple of answers. 1129, okay, FM 1129 there, but all through this area, the heavy rain's been falling for a little while, so I wouldn't be surprised if you're seeing a little bit of a flood concern there. But yeah, it does. So that's 1129. So it does look like we got a little bit of a hail core here moving towards FM 1129 there. So now this storm further down in the Groesbeck area is just a beast right now. And that is probably, if I had to guess, this storm in the Groesbeck area is probably cutting off the storm in the Corsicana area. So, that's kind of what we're looking at. Let me see here. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, so Ellis County is pretty much in the clear. If you're in Ferris and Ennis on west, you're in the clear right now. Navarro County looks like you might be dealing with this for a little while. I hate to say it, but it's kind of just sitting on top of you. So, heavy rain, possibly some small hail continuing in Navarro County there. But it does look like you will get away from most of that. I do think that the tornadic storm here moving towards the Teague area, I do think that's going to avoid Navarro County to the south. So I think that, I think that you guys will be able to avoid most of this. But Navarro County, heavy rain there. None of this is severe. None of this is severe warned right now. We do, again, have that tornado watch continuing for, the next... for the next, I don't know, hold on a second. Sorry, I had something that completely grabbed my train of thought. But that severe storm to the south is going to move through. You guys in Corsicana and Navarro County going to be looking at heavy rain for the next, hour or so, probably. But it's going to look bad. It's going to sound bad. It's going to be scary. It's going to be intense. But none of this is going to be, to severe levels. At least it looks like. We do have that. What I was saying is we do have that tornado watch, effective for the next hour and a half. But that's pretty much, that's all, going to be really, for the most part, east and south of us. Really, mostly south of us, pretty much, for the next several hours. Because you look to the south, tornado warning for the College Station area right now. And then, obviously, south of Mexia as well. So that's what we have going on right now. I am going to, I think, go ahead and wrap this up. If there is any further concern for the storm in Corsicana, in the Navarro County area, I will let you guys know. But right now, it does look like we are looking at, there's a new tornado warning coming out for this storm in the Mexia, Teague, Fairfield area, but that, again, looks like that's going to avoid Navarro County to the south. Let me just wait and see what that's going to look like. It does look like it's going to avoid Navarro County. I do think that's kind of... I think that's kind of what we're going to be expecting here. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like that. Yeah, so that warning stays south of Navarro County. So it does look like Navarro County will be able to avoid a tornado warning, to the south. So Navarro County, heavy rain there, small hail, possibly some gusty winds, but nothing severe in that area. And it does look like that storm won't really be ramping up. So I don't think that by the time that gets into the Currens area, Currens and Eureka there and Mildred and the Richland Chambers Reservoir there, I don't think that we're going to be looking at any severe indications. But if there are, I will post those updates. And Chris, the tornado warning in Ferris, there was it looked like there was an alert issued to folks who had subscribed to the text alerts from the city of Ferris, warning for a tornado warning in Denton County. So I'm really not sure what in the world went on there. It beats me. The city of Ferris will have to figure that out and address that, because it's not my system, and I really have no idea why they would do that. Justin, you're asking, why does it always hit at night? Really, the answer I have for you on that is that usually it pops up out west, right, in the heat of the day. and then by the time it makes it here, it's usually nighttime. So, unfortunately, that's just kind of the way that goes. So thank you so much for everyone that shared this, watched this, sent stars, whatever the case might be. However you supported this, we have a beautiful week coming up. Tomorrow's going to be chilly. We're going to be highs in the mid to upper 50s tomorrow, if we even hit them. If some places may be in the lower 50s, but highs in the 50s tomorrow. Then we're in 60s and 70s the rest of the week. Gorgeous week. Everyone have a wonderful one. I will plug at least once that if you do have roof damage, Synergy Roofing is the way to go. Of course, you can find their Facebook page. Just go to Synergy Roofing on Facebook. Go to synergyroofing.com to their website. Real estate agent Jimmy Porch sponsors the live streams directly. You've seen his logo over here. I appreciate him. Go check out the Facebook page. The top of the page that has all of the sponsors on it. I don't work with fools. I don't work with people who don't give great customer service. And some of these are the best folks that are local businesses here. So thank you so much again. I appreciate all of you for tuning into this, and stay tuned to Ellis County Weather for a beautiful forecast